Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Orthodox Bench with the Point. I'm the point in question, and today's question comes from the Sun Animation. The question is, what are my own personal thoughts about Saint Francis of Assisi? Well, it's complicated because there's a lot of aspects of Francis that I like. I mean, what's not to love about him? He's got everything, disdain for parents, absolute love for the poor, trying to, rebuild the church, staying true to the gospel commandments while respecting objectively corrupt church authorities. Distilled gospel, essentially. um, I think that Francis of Assisi is one of the saints that, red thread Orthodox really love to hate because of his stigmata. But, personally, I mean, I was never really like somebody, even though I do have Catholic saints that I like reading and so on, Francis was never one of them because he simply never caught on. By the way, if you didn't know, he technically died while united to the Orthodox Church. Because at the time of his death, the Catholics still had some sort of communion with the Bulgarian Orthodox Church. So, very technically, we could canonize him. I mean, I really don't think we should, but still, there's that. Yeah, I mean, Orthodox tend to dislike him because there's at least one text where he's like sort of ripped to shreds. He's like there's this comparison between him and Saint Seraphim of Sorrow, and honestly, I can't remember the text in entirety. I could have read him before this video, but I simply didn't want to because it really rubbed me the wrong way. Because the text was essentially like, when Francis was dying, he said, "I forgive anyone all of my enemies," and that's so prideful of him. Well, Saint Seraphim was like, "I ask for everybody's forgiveness," and I'm like, and of course, as I was reading the lives of the Orthodox saints, because this left like an imprint in my mind. There are so many cases of so many Orthodox saints saying essentially, "I forgive everyone who's done harm to me," and like asking forgiveness, and of course, but sometimes they just say, and please don't quote me on this, it's simply things that I read, and I can't quote specifics, but it's a running theme. So, oh no, he forgave everyone. Oh, what a deluded demoniac, Of course, a lot of Orthodox people, complain about stigmata and paralysis, that is spiritual delusion. And yes, I see the issue with that. However, I mean, that stigmata didn't seem to bring anything, positive for him, because it was, excruciatingly painful. And for the type that Francis was, I don't think personally that it was faked, because he's the type of person who will literally fight with his own father for the gospel, to go to preach to the Muslims. And and he was relatively well known at the time, near his death, and he received his stigmata. So I don't think it was faked. Somebody might say, "Well, it's the devil's miracle," One of my former best friends just dropped by because he forgot that we moved the hangout. We were supposed to have an hour early, so yeah. So let me continue where I stopped the story. A lot of people claim that his stigmata, is demonic. I honestly, perhaps, but I sort of doubt it, and let me put it this way. I really wouldn't be so quick to call something, demonic, that has supernatural origin. I could go on about this, but honestly, I think I would detract from the story about Francis of Assisi, but I do have a little story to share. Recently, I was going back home from a friend's place, and I entered this bus. There weren't too many people, and on the next stop, this woman came in, and I hate to say it, but she reeked. The smell was overpowering. I've never experienced something like that, whether in public transport or somewhere outside. It was simply, you could simply see people moving from the front end of the bus to the back end of the bus, and you could literally see on everyone's faces, and probably mine, that they really did not want her to move closer to them, and the people who were sitting next or standing next to the windows were opening them wide, even though it was rather chilly outside. At one point, people started like commenting, nothing too rude, but still rude. And at one point, they convinced her to leave the bus, and this might have been on the pretext of this line will take you to where you want to go. I mean, some other line that we're not on. So she left the bus. Honestly, I feel very guilty that I did not speak up for her. I didn't say anything, I wasn't like rude or anything to her, but still I failed my calling as a Christian. And Francis of Assisi is someone who hugged a person with leprosy, somebody who probably stank far worse than this woman, who was contagious and who would probably transmit the disease to him. So yeah, until I reach that level, I do not feel really compelled to say anything bad about Francis of Assisi. And he's not a saint in the Orthodox Church. I do not seek out his intercession. If he's out there, in the presence of God, he's praying for us anyway. So yeah, there's that. And hope to see you guys in one of the next videos. Bye.